Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you here on Nile TV International and our coverage of the rerun of the 30 Nile constituencies for the House of Representatives elections for 2025. Delighted to be joined in the studio this afternoon by our guest, Dr. Sara Khater, Professor of Mass Communication. Dr. Sara, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Right, so Dr. Sara, of course, Egyptians are voting in the second day of the rerun of the first phase of the parliamentary elections for 2025, and of course very important voting process. But before we get into all of that, we have a quick update from our correspondent Ahmed Nader from Giza. Good afternoon to you, Ahmed.
Hi Angie.
Ahmed.
Hi Sara.
Hi Ahmed.
Right, once again, Ahmed, thank you for joining us. And Ahmed, of course, Dr. Sara and I were just going to get into our discussion, which will be focused really on women and their role in regards to political life. So tell us a bit about the presence of women at the polling station you are at. Have you seen a good number of women practicing their constitutional rights and casting their votes?
Yes, Angie, and of course, as you said, Dr. Sara is with you in the studio. The thing is, I know Dr. Sara because we used to study together at the same university. We were of the same class at the Faculty of Mass Communication since 2006 and of the same graduating class in 2010. Speaking of women,
yes.
Of course, we do know that there is a queue for women or females, and we can see some voters who just ended their voting process. They just voted, they cast their ballots, because they enter right behind me. You can see them there. They enter right behind me and they finish from the other way around. They just cast their ballots. And on the other hand, the men, the male voters, they are still here, as I mentioned in my first feed, or at 1 p.m. A lot of men are here, a lot of male citizens, a lot of male voters are here to be casting their votes and casting their ballots at Muhammad Quraim School, the polling center near Al-Bahr Al-Azam Street, one of the main streets in the governorate of Al-Giza. Al-Giza is a very large governorate. It is an extension for Upper Egypt, so there is a bit of a sense of a clan in terms of voting, in terms of herding the citizens and herding the voters to be going, because they are voting for the same candidate, they are voting for the same list. They have this clan mentality. It's an extension
so voters
to
are
Upper
supporting
Egypt.
their candidate.
Giza in general, it has 6.5. Yes, Angie?
Yes, I was saying that the candidates are being supported really by the voters. As you said, a sense of community in the area. Continue, Ahmed, please.
Yes, exactly. Because we have, in Giza, in general, we have 6.5 million citizens in the governorate. 5 million of them are eligible to vote. And you asked me about the women. And as I mentioned, they have the priority to be going and casting their ballots. A lot of women have come in and out of the polling center ever since 9 a.m. and they will be coming until 9 p.m. especially after 5 or 6 p.m. in the last 4 or 5 hours of voting, according to the directives of the National Elections Authority, because we do know that I think in about 30 minutes time, 35 minutes time, there will be a break for the judges. There will be a break for the organizing committees and the police forces here from 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. No voting will be accepted. The doors will be closed because it is open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And for women, we are expecting a lot of female voters to be coming and casting their votes after 5 or 6 p.m. after working hours, because on Friday and Saturday it will be the weekend. So it is officially the weekend here in Egypt, and more specifically in the governorate of Al-Giza. We will be expecting a higher turnout for the female voters and the higher representation for women at the parliamentary elections, Angie.
Right, indeed, Ahmed, I'd like to thank you very, very much for your update and your coverage. And of course, we'll be continuing our updates from your side throughout the day. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for your time. And back to you once again, Dr. Sara. Thank you very much for your time. And of course, we were going to discuss the role of women. Women play a very vital role in political life now in Egypt. They are heads of families. They are role models, really, for their children and the generations who are taking part in this democratic process? How important do you see their presence and the frequency of their participation?
Well, very important. And let me first pay my greetings to my dear colleague Ahmed Nader, and thanks for the very accurate data that he just gave us and provided us with. And I think it's a priority for women to actually attend the elections and to actually participate. As I always say, women are leaders in their own homes. Not just in the overall society or community. We have several leaders at our hand. They have the opportunity and they have the power to encourage and motivate their families to actually participate in such an important and vital process.
Absolutely. Dr. Sara, now we're seeing Egyptians going to the polling stations, voting in, the 30 annulled constituencies in the rerun. This is very interesting. We're seeing Egyptians still going out in their numbers, standing in queues, waiting to cast their votes and ballots, etc. What message does this, bring across now with the transparency of the whole situation, and the Egyptians are still keen and they feel that really, no, they will be represented by the candidate that they choose?
Well, actually, this is really vital right now, because women actually, they actually have a huge role in our society. They have always been like this for years. So actually stressing on the importance of their contribution right now is very vital for Egypt in this stage specifically. And I think the whole elections process and the voters' participation, and I think I always actually see voters going to their polling stations on my way here. So this is like a national celebration for all of us, a national celebration of democracy. And I think many people have been encouraged to participate during this stage, more than the first stage as well.
Indeed. And was this your expectation, Doctor, when you heard that they were going to be annulled and redone, etc.? Was this an expectation of yours?
Yes, I expected that more people would participate after the annulment, because I think people now have more faith in the process, more faith in their transparency of the process. And this is the goal. They have to be sure that actually who will represent them in the parliament is someone who knows their problems, who knows what they actually aspire for, their dreams and ambitions, who actually speaks for them, and that's the most important.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a bit about the measures that the state have implemented in order to facilitate a smooth and transparent process. Tell us a bit about some of these measures. Of course, we've heard reports of assistance for the elderly, presence of wheelchairs, security, lots of different collaboration with different sectors and institutions. Tell us a bit more.
Special needs as well.
Yes, tell me more.
Yes. I think the state providing help for everyone to participate in the same manner. This is an important thing to know, because we're trying to integrate everyone into the process by providing help for the elderly, for special needs, providing what makes it easier for them to contribute or to cast their votes. I think by this way they are sure that they are members of this country, they are members of the society, they are active members of the election process. And this is actually very important for Egypt's future. They need to feel more integrated. And I think we are already reaching this goal.
Indeed. Now, in what ways do you see, these elections supporting Egypt's long-term democratic aim, if I may, with regards to their vision for political stability, economic development, national development as well?
Well, this also relates to integration and inclusion, because everyone is integrated in the process right now. Everyone is included. Everyone has a part to play. So by having a contribution, a direct contribution to the election process, I think everyone has a responsibility towards the country. If you have a vote, then you have a responsibility. And this is what matters most. Egyptians now feel more responsible for the future of their own country. Absolutely. It's not just the responsibility of the state or the government, it's the responsibility of each citizen as well.
Absolutely. Now, the newly elected MPs contribute very, 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 very big role with regards to their reinforcing of national cohesion, especially their role in the upcoming Egyptian parliament. Tell me a bit about their importance, especially in this current stage of the political process in Egypt.
Well, their importance lies in one word that sums up everything: representing people. The representation. The representation has to be powerful. They need to know how important it is for them to be active members in the parliament. They need to know the limits and the opportunities of their roles. They have to be, let's say, they have to care more for their own self-learning regarding this whole process by being in touch with their voters all the time, communicating different messages and being in close contact and trying to figure out how to help them overcome the challenges and the problems that they might encounter.
And it's also very important that the citizen feels they have a representative that they can approach, that can carry, and there's a lot of things waiting for the upcoming parliament. Lots of different committees as well are formed in the parliament to deal with different affairs. So we have an educational committee, health committee, housing committee, etc. How important do you see the split, if you may, or these committees in parliament to deal with different folders?
Necessary indeed. By having different specializations and different focuses inside the parliament, this is a kind of coordination and organizing work. We can do everything, but not as a whole. Maybe we are a whole unit, but we have to make sure that everyone is actually working in their own specialization or in something that's close to their specialization. This makes it easier for the parliament to achieve its goals, or more accurately to achieve the citizens' goals.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we are on the second and final day of the rerun of the first phase of the parliamentary elections, expected to end by 9 p.m. Cairo local time. And of course, the National Election Authority has a timetable set for the reruns and the runoffs, etc. How important do you see the spacing in between each and every round, the preparations of the polling stations in the different governorates that have the reruns or the runoffs, the logistics behind the whole process?
This is actually very important and was well done during these elections. Because I think organizing the entire process into different time slots and into different phases to begin with, this was actually, I think it made the process run more smooth, in a smoother way. And I think also that if we repeat this same manner in the coming elections, in the coming years, I think we will have more interesting results. We will have more people that are able to participate. We have more citizens that are encouraged to participate.
And this is very important, especially because there are lots of political parties working constructively, of course, with the government, lots of entities as well, whether NGOs, whether civic society members, etc., working on the whole process of this democratic roadmap, like you said. Tell me the role about civic society in your opinion.
Well, I think the role here lies in educating citizens, educating people about the importance of their voting, how important it is for them to actually bear the responsibility of their votes, to know who to choose as their representative in the parliament, to know what role do they play in the parliament actually, and on what basis are they able to choose specific MPs. Yes.
And this is indeed a very important process as a whole.
Yes.
With regards to upkeeping the political process. Yes. Now, Egypt's election monitoring system is reflecting, of course, the state's keenness to ensure a commitment to fairness, to transparency, procedural accuracy as well. And this is all under judicial supervision. How does this, verify or validify, if you may, the whole electoral procedures?
It ensures transparency, of course, and it ensures credibility as well. And I think they're doing a great role this time specifically, because as we just witnessed, we have districts that were actually annulled. The elections were annulled and cancelled as a whole because of violations that were made or that were monitored in these districts. And as I said before, this encourages people to participate more. They feel the process is more credible. They feel the process actually is more valuable. It has a value. and that their voices have value in building the future of their country.
Indeed. Now, have you seen the attendance of youngsters at the polling stations when, you know, you've walked around, you said you've seen
Yes.
some of the... what role do they have as members of the youth and their participation in political life and the awareness, you know, of their importance as well, because these are the future generations that will continue these practices throughout the years?
They are somehow aware this time, but I think in the future they will be more aware and more keen on participating. I think so. Maybe we can talk to them more through their own media,
Yes.
through their social media platforms, different platforms. And each platform targets a specific age, so we can actually talk to them through many of them, or maybe we can choose 2 or more platforms to talk specifically to specific age categories. I think they are interested in the process right now, but I think they will be more interested in the future.
And especially when they participate in the actual process and see for themselves. I mean, practice and try it out. You know, practice makes perfect for future participation.
Yeah.
Now, the National Election Authority has reaffirmed that the rerun is being conducted strictly in line with the judicial directives and administration, underscoring, of course, its commitment to safeguarding transparency this time round. Now, the rerun rounds also reflect the commitment to strengthening the whole democratic institution in Egypt, ensuring, you know, a smooth and stable process. It's not just about the process, it's also about the results, the end results, the outcome. How do you see, you know, the announcements, the monitoring of the whole process, the results that are being, we just had the National Election Authority press conference announcing the results of the first phase. This is very important. It's like a constant conversation between the citizen and the authority. How important do you see this?
Just like you said, it's like updating people with what's going on all the time. You're keeping them in the scene of the elections. You're actually reporting the results, you're reporting the violations, you're reporting districts that were cancelled. You're keeping them updated every now and then, so they feel more included in the process. They feel that there's nothing that's covered from them. And I think this is very important, by ensuring them that the process runs in a specific way or with specific details, and keeping them included in all the logistics of the process. I think that in this way they will realize how important it is for them to contribute and participate in the elections, and how responsible they are for this.
Indeed. Now, back to the topic that I wanted to focus with on you, is the role of women. Now, first let me start by asking you, how do you feel about quotas? Because some people are pro-quotas and they think quotas are good and giving women 25% or a certain amount of seats in party lists or in certain institutions or governments, etc. Others are against quotas and feel that no, you know, women should get a fair, even bigger numbers, or should have a free reign. Are you against quotas?
Yeah, somehow.
Why?
Because I think women are active members of this society, and they are half of the society. I'm not talking about this statistically. I'm talking about it
realistically.
Realistically, yeah. They're half the society. They're half of our homes. So I think they have an active role to play, and they will enrich the process if we just maybe loosen the quota a bit. Yes.
But actually, some people argue that quotas are there to ensure the presence of women. Some people argue that without the quotas, yes, but I mean, if you don't, for example, have a quota that there have to be a certain number of women, for example, in a party list, some people argue, well, there won't be any. It can just, all the candidates can be men.
Well, I think right now we have ensured that they're actually participating. We have a quota now, and we are sure and positive that they are participating. Now we can remove the quota, and then we will have participants.
So you think there'll be bigger numbers if we do so?
Yeah, I think so.
And women, of course, as well. We've seen, you know, the role of Egyptian women as well in the Egyptian government. We've seen now women in ministerial positions, etc., which we didn't have before. What message does that send to Egyptian women, in your opinion?
To Egyptian women?
Yes.
Yes, to Egyptian women, I think it's an assurance that they are true members of the society. It's regardless of their gender. They can be in any position. as long as they have the leadership skills it takes to fill that position, whether it's a ministry or a leader in an organization, a teacher. I think, yeah, this is a very positive message, and it's very encouraging to different women in our society that they have to participate in building the future of this country. It cannot be done without them.
Indeed. And what role do you think, in your opinion, different political parties, for example, can play with regards to contributing positively to this healthy political environment that has women involved in political life in Egypt?
By encouraging female members in those parties to participate more. And as I said, there should be only one criterion regarding choosing someone for a specific position or a leadership position. The skills and the qualifications, not the gender. And also by making several maybe media campaigns directed towards encouraging women to participate in political life.
Do you think mainstream media has a role to play in this regard?
Of course, yes, media always has a role to play. Female portrayals in the media, they have to be consistent with the message that we're trying to give out.
Yes.
We need to say positive, or we need to see positive portrayals. We need to see women leaders on media. We need to see several positive examples and several leaders in different series and movies. I think that will have the tremendous, or the more tremendous effect on women, and on encouraging them to participate. It will actually have more effect than maybe efforts done by political parties, because as we always say, soft power is always more influential.
Indeed. Now, lots of awareness campaigns as well, Dr. Sara, have been launched specifically at a grassroots level. So we're talking about awareness campaigns starting from, informal areas, rural areas as well, villages, etc. How important do you see these awareness campaigns? We've seen NGOs and lots of different organizations, as well as the Women's Council, etc., having these awareness campaigns, getting women together to attend them, to listen and learn, really, and become more aware of their political suffrage and their rights.
Well, I think it's very important. And important in what we may call political literacy in these areas. Maybe people know that there are elections, but not all of them are sure what these elections mean. Maybe they're not all sure that specific members, if chosen or selected, maybe they think they're just famous figures or celebrities. They don't know the exact roles that these members should play in the parliament. So the campaigns in this regard, I think they were very important in educating people more, in giving them more political literacy.
Absolutely, right.
Yes.
Right. We now are joined by Nile TV's reporter from Buhaira, Sharif Bousela. Good afternoon to you, Sharif.
Good afternoon, Izzy.
Thank you for joining us, Sharif. What can you tell me with regards to the voting process in Buhaira Governorate?
Okay, Izzy, as a reminder for what I said before, Buhaira Governorate is a key electoral stronghold with over 4,388,000 voters registered since the launch of the parliament. We raised the rerun of elections for the annulled constituencies inside Egypt is scheduled for yesterday and also today. Voting is taking place in only 4 constituencies where around 1.5 million voters are heading to the polls to choose among 90 candidates competing for just 5 parliamentary seats. It's a contest expected to be extremely competitive. A total of 271 polling centers and 300 polling stations have been deployed for this vote. In Buhaira Governorate, Ms. Jacqueline Heiser, the governor of Buhaira, conducted an inspection tour of several polling stations yesterday in Housh Aita district and today in Kom Hamada district where I am. to ensure a safe and suitable environment for voters on the first day of voting. NGV-4 was part of ongoing field monitoring to ensure the smooth running of the electoral process within the polling stations of Khater. I was honored to have an exclusive interview with her. The governor praised citizens' awareness and their turnout to cast their votes despite the unstable weather and rainfall. She confirmed that polling stations have been operating smoothly since early morning with continuous communication, maintained with judges to ensure there's easy access to polling stations and voting locations, and that all stations opened on time. The governor of Khater added that weather conditions were taken into account by preparing space-covered walkways for citizens.
Right.
All necessary facilities were also provided for the elderly and people with disabilities to ensure their easy and convenient participation.
Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Nile TV's correspondent reporting live from Khater, Sharif Bousela. Thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Dr. Sara. There we go, another example of women in political life.
Again, yes. Actually, this stresses the importance of the participation in different societies.
Absolutely.
Different societies in Egypt.
Absolutely,
yes,
indeed.
Cities.
Right, I'm afraid we've run out of time. I'm going to have to leave it at that. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Sara Khater, Professor of Mass Comm. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Doctor.
So
ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our coverage for the hour. Do stay tuned for Panorama News, 3 p.m. local time.